Kyle here from Applied OCD. Today I'm going to be fixing my wife's Kitchenaid Mixer. It has a little bit of a problem. When you turn it on, it doesn't want to start right away. There's sometimes a long delay and it doesn't do anything. See right there? Plugged in. And then sometimes it'll just take off, start running. Now it doesn't work at all. So I found this replacement board. This is the speed control that goes inside there. Let's see on the back side. This is a speed sensor. And then you have motor 2, motor 1, that's a neutral, and black. Those are spade connectors. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this little sensor that goes down in here and it watches the rotation of the motor and then it adjusts accordingly. It's kind of a constant speed mechanism. You start by, of course, unplugging the unit. And if I was going to go, well, I can't use the word, but if I was going to go the extra mile, I would perform a lockout tag out on this unit. But I'm not going to do that. Seeing as I'm the only person working on this, I will simply go with the unplugged method. I've had this apart before, and I replaced the Phillips screws with some aftermarket Allen head. All right, let's pop this rascal off here, see what we got. Mmm, yummy. And yeah, yours looks just like that at home too. You just don't know it because you've never had it apart. Well, let's take a look here. So we've got motor 2, that's this one. Motor 1 goes to that whoopie-doo thing, whatever that is. And then this says neutral and line. So the white one is the neutral. 1. Oh, silly me. I've had this apart before. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. See the dots? Right across here. But I think the reason why is because I had this motor out. I had to replace the clip. There's a snap ring on this shaft here. This whole planetary mechanism had dropped down. I had to tear this gearbox apart. I cleaned this all up, and then I put fresh grease in there. So that's why I marked those, because I wasn't replacing the board. I was simply unhooking and hooking back up. But now that I've got this on video, I'll know just what to do. So let's go ahead and unplug these guys. Then this thing, it's got a couple little clips that hold it in place. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that board out first. That way I can get to the backside. Now, in true major and minor appliance fashion, the manufacturer has discontinued this board and they replaced it with the one that I bought. And I bought that one on eBay, and it was, I think it was $86 for this board. I found some, of course, after I bought the eBay one. I found some on Amazon for around $39 that claimed to be the same thing. But I don't know. The new one says that it's a Whirlpool factory service part. That was easy. Push these little, these are some little, come on, focus. There you go. See these little prongs? One on each side. Pinch. I just got in there with a screwdriver and pushed that in and popped it right out. Okay. New circuit board. I'm going to try to handle it by the edges so that I don't statically charge it. So this is motor 1, and that goes right here. Motor 2 goes right there. And then, what do we got here? Neutral here. That's the white one. And then we've got the black is the line. And I got to put this thing in there. There we go. I'll put a couple screws in this board. And we'll try it out. I've never really understood why, and maybe someone could drop a comment below, but why is it that appliance manufacturers will discontinue the most failure-prone item, repair part, on the piece of equipment or the appliance, and the most durable parts, the ones that are almost certain to never fail, those ones they keep continuing to manufacture, totally available today. Like this plastic gear case right here. Now they did do an upgrade. Now they have one that's made out of metal. But nonetheless, how often do you think that this plastic cap fails? Probably not very often. To me, the things that would fail would be the electronic part right back here. So let's start making these available for longer than you make some of these other things available. Or better yet, make them all available so that we can do our part for the environment. Because if this doesn't work, this whole thing is going in the trash. And I'll have to buy a new one. To me, that's not very environmentally responsible. The environmentally responsible thing to do would be to make these repairable for many, 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 many years to avoid these items being put in the landfill. And okay, sure, there are recyclable parts on here. This is die-cast aluminum. We got some copper in there. Yeah, but are you going to pay some guy down at your local scrapyard? You're going to pay him $30 an hour to unwind the copper out of this and take all these little pieces, parts off of here? No, you're not. And no, There's not a sane business owner in the world that would do that. I turned the switch off. I'm going to plug it back in. We're going to give it the old college try. You ready? Let's see if we have to let the smoke out of it. Woo! Check it out, boys and girls. Nice. Well, I would say that was $86 well spent. Like I said, that is the gotta make sure my address isn't on here for you stalkers. Speed control. I'm gonna tuck all those wires back in there. The lid back on. And we'll be good to go. I won't bore you with the reassembly. Nobody wants to see that. They've already seen it. But she's ready to go. It's all fixed. Ready for another 25 years of service. Thanks for watching.